Whoa, Kai Rusty. What's up, people? Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. This is FootyWit, Football Gist, EPL Review, Transfer Updates. Put everything all in one. It's been a while we've been here. We've been on an hiatus. I don't know if that's right. And I'm not here alone. My name is Ahis Anthony. And I'm here with Okwe. What's up? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Happy New Season. It's good to be back here on FootyWit podcast. I've missed doing this with you, and it's great to be back here. So hit the ground running again.
Yeah, but because the last time we were here in May, I know most of you would have seen it on our social media platform. We lost one of us, the first lady, the numero uno in terms of things that go behind the scenes. She's no more with us. We lost Samiat. May her soul continue to rest in peace. We did a tribute to her on our social media platform. In case anybody wants to check it out, you can just go to our Instagram FootyWit or Twitter account. You would see the tributes that the entire FootyWit family did in honor of Samiat. She was spectacular.
Yeah.
She was a very, very loving person. She was everything bundled into one, but God knows best. God understands. The last episode, I think it was the three of us that won the episode together. Myself, you, Okwe, and we reviewed the week 35 EPL match for last season. Well, we're talking about Liverpool and Manchester City, 1 point adrift or thereabout, and it's just so sad that she's no longer with us. But so continue to rest in peace. And we're starting the season.
Amen.
Hopefully, first off, on that hiatus, because I know I've been on another platform. First off, big up to Sophie of the Hybrid Squad. I had my debut on the Hybrid Squad where I talked about Arsenal.
I remember that. Yeah. It was brilliant.
You all know I'm an Arsenal fan. And also big up to Didon for Intercontinental TV Sports. I see you there, where you go there once in a while. Trouble.
Of course,
all this while when we were on break, at least we had the opportunity to feature on other platforms to do what we love doing, which is talking football. But we're here, we're back now. We're back to steady the ship. This season, we hope, is going to be an eventful one. But first, we're starting because the season, 2022-2023 season, is just 2 weeks to go. So we're doing a review for the top six. And the top six, in our own opinion, on FootyWit, it could be argued, though, Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool, and Tottenham. Baby. So we just
it's quite apt. It's quite apt that you mentioned Arsenal first and mentioned Spurs last.
I like that. Just to alphabetical order. Hey,
sure.
Alphabetical order.
Sure. It was comfortable, but that's great.
So in case of all those cynics out there thinking I'm trying to be biased, so we're looking at the top six. I'm going to go over it again. The top six on FootyWit, which I said it could be argued: Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, and Spurs. And I know I'm being fair enough having to do that alphabetically. But we're going to start with Arsenal. I know both of us were Arsenal fans, but I hope the other guys joined, hopefully before we end. We just don't want to spend a lot of time looking at transfer. That's what everybody will do, or that's what any sensible person will do as the season, as every team prepares to go into the season. We're going to look at how they've strengthened their squad, the ins, most especially the ins. We're going to focus on the ins. So for Arsenal, let's start with Arsenal. Gabriel Jesus from Manchester City, Fabio Vieira from Porto, Alexander Zinchenko from Manchester, and also Matt Turner from New England, and McCoy as of today, which is the day we're recording this episode. These are the players that have come in for Arsenal. So, okay, quick one. Do you think Arsenal have strengthened enough because last season they were like 2 points shy away from top four, and next season they want to go into seeing how they can get the Champions League spot. I think that's the holy grail, and if any other thing that
Mm.
comes with it will be accepted. So, what do you think about Arsenal?
Strengthened enough, no. I think they still need another left-footed centre back. Pablo Mari is not it for me. If Gabriel isn't
Hmm.
fit, if Gabriel Magalhaes isn't fit, I think they need another good defensive midfielder, or maybe preferably a box-to-box midfielder, someone who can deputize well for a probably injured Thomas Partey or a suspended Thomas Partey when the time comes. With all due respect to El Neni, I think he lacked some certain traits that would make me feel comfortable. Although kudos to him, he had a great run in the team towards the end of last season. But if we're talking about competing with the big boys, I think we need to do better than El Neni. And then in the last position where I think they still need to for me, still needs to. I like Gabriel Martinelli. I like how exciting he is. I like the dynamic he brings to the team. I see during preseason that he has improved on a couple of things from his previous seasons, but I believe it would be good if he has a maybe not necessarily an experienced player who comes in. It would be good if an experienced player comes in, or maybe someone who is just more direct to goal compared to him, who is more composed while running with the ball, someone who can look up, someone who preferably is comfortable with both feet.
Hmm.
Yeah. So in that regard, I feel Arsenal still need to bring in more players because obviously at the end of the day, to compete with the big boys and to maintain the status of probably the top six, just like I've said in previous seasons and previous episodes, you need quality depth. If you want to compete for the league title, which I know is an end goal, you need quality in depth compared to the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. So I mean, so far so good. I think Arsenal have done well for themselves. They've got two good strikers in Gabriel Jesus and Nketiah. Two good right wingers, Saka, Pepe. You're looking at the left hand side. You're currently looking at Martinelli alone for me, and we all know Pepe can as well play on the left hand side. Smith Rowe is another option on the left hand side. And then, through the middle, you've got Odegaard and now Fabio Vieira. So I like that. And then in the two base midfielders, the number 4 and the number 8, we're looking at the likes of Xhaka and Partey. And then if they're
Hmm.
not fit, we're looking at El Neni and Lukonga. And then in defense, I must say that I'm very excited about the return of William Saliba. Um, it's quite funny how the media tries to portray certain stories and how they try to cook up a lot of things. And the media outlets are so good at certain words and just making you believe certain things. So it's good to see William Saliba back. I've heard positive reports that he might most likely sign a contract extension. Same thing as Bukayo Saka. And let me just remind you and everyone else that William Saliba is just 21 years old. And at the age of 21, he looks very comfortable. Um, he's fast, very assertive with the ball. I enjoy watching him play. And obviously, it's good to know that Ben White can also deputize in that right back position. I'm excited to see one day if we do play three at the back and it's Saliba, Gabriel, and Ben White. That'll be fantastic. And I'm earnestly waiting for the return of Tomiyasu and Tierney. So I believe, just like I said, Arsenal still need to make more signings, but so far so good.
Well, some Arsenal fans will argue with you when you mentioned, just wanted to touch light on Keita when you said Keita is one of the improved, one of the that Arsenal will be going in with. A lot will argue with you that Nketiah still hasn't got
Mm.
to that level yet. But I feel with what we're
Of course.
seeing currently in the preseason, like I said, every player have the tendency or has the tendency to improve. You mentioned Saliba. We saw the
Mm.
game that happened yesterday between Arsenal and Chelsea.
Yeah.
Just to put that, demolished Chelsea 4-0. In case you've not
Yeah.
heard about it,
Yeah.
you're hearing it
Humbled.
for the first time.
Humbled is
You're
a good word.
So we saw a calm, relaxed performance by Saliba. Most cynics said that, or most people were looking out for him that will be the real test, and he took it so
Mm.
easy. But we know the intricacies that come with the EPL. We know EPL has its own shenanigans or has its own dynamics. It could throw you off. You that you see yourself as a very good player, you could go into the EPL and turn garbage and turn shit. So a lot of people have been moaning, should he start against Crystal Palace or should Arteta, hide him from the pressure? But I feel with that performance yesterday, yes, I know Chelsea was not at their best, but I feel Saliba is here to stay. And I just pity White because based on the amount of money that was being bought for, I know Arteta would try to see how we can put him in the first 11.
You pity
But I think
White.
Saliba is here
I
to
don't
stay.
pity White at all. I think White compared to Gabriel, I think Gabriel is the one who should be afraid. Because number one, Gabriel is quite loose, or rather, he lacks concentration a lot of times when he's on the ball.
Mm,
Gabriel gives a lot of, should I say, field passes, and Gabriel sometimes doesn't. Gabriel is not comfortable with making dynamic passes in between the field.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you ask me, so I think in comparison, Saliba to Gabriel, Saliba is much more comfortable on the ball. Although probably
Mm,
Saliba would not make those. He we've not seen it in his Arsenal switch flank play, but we know Ben White can do that comfortably. I think Ben White is unbenchable, if you ask me.
yeah.
A major reason why Gabriel still has a good stake in the team is simply because he's left-footed. That is the major reason, and that's why at the beginning of my assessment of Arsenal, that's why I said Arsenal need another left-footed centre back because Pablo Mari is not it for me. I think Pablo Mari is sometimes too stiff on the ball. He's not fast enough, and
Mm-hmm.
turnovers a lot. So yeah, Arsenal need an footed centre back who can provide competition for Gabriel right now. I know Austin Trusty is a left-footed centre back, but obviously they know that he's not ready for the Premier League yet. And now immediately he came this summer, sent him on loan to Birmingham City immediately. So I hope to see a rapid and a fast development from him. And I look forward to seeing him come back to the Arsenal team. Similar way Saliba went out alone, got experience and got into the team.
So before this starts to look like an Arsenal fan corner episode, but yeah, it's just a football gist. So let's switch to Chelsea. Chelsea, a certain name, Lakaka, that was the name we gave him on the street. He's out on loan. He was bought for £100 million last season, but it's part of the out. But like I said, we're not concentrating on the out. We're concentrating on the in. So for Chelsea, Raheem Sterling from Manchester United, Kalidou Koulibaly, who claims to be the security of the Chelsea defense, for £34 million. Bitch. Eddie Bitch from Southampton, a youth player. So there's no, I would just want to use this opportunity to welcome Chimamaka. Chimamaka has been added to the stream. Chimamaka, what's up?
Hello guys, how you doing?
Happy New Year.
Very well. Good to have you.
It's really a new year, bro. It's really a new year. How you doing now? It's
We're
good to be
good.
here too as well.
Yeah, so for the benefit of our listeners, Chimamaka is calling from somewhere in Lagos. So we all know Chimamaka is a Chelsea fan. So let me just put you under the heat. Chimamaka, we're reviewing the signings each club. We're looking at the top six. Like I said, arguably it could be argued, but on FootyWit, for the purpose of this episode, the top six are Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, and Spurs. Are reviewing Chelsea currently. So I just listed out the numbers you have signed. Do you think this will give Chelsea enough impetus into the season to contest or to be title contenders or make the Champions League sport?
To be candid, that question is a very, very big question that has multiple answers. But I'll answer this way. Now, that team as it stands, as it is presently, can go nowhere. They will barely make it to the 10th this coming season. Why am I saying so? I'm saying so because you realize that Thomas Tuchel is still carrying the burdens of past managers who he has to flush out of that squad. The squad is quite large, but you realize that the squad is filled with players, not his own players. The squad is filled with backlogs of ex Chelsea managers who they've just been recycling their contracts and the like. So he's not going to get it right except those guys leave. And when they leave, he brings in his own kind of players before he can start talking about results. Because as it stands, I stood up all night yesterday watching the Arsenal Chelsea game. I realized that yes, credit to Arteta and credit to the the business being done by Arsenal Football Club. They did their business very early, and they are taking the right boxes as it stands. Let's pray that this reflects in the new season. What they played reflects in the new season. It shouldn't be that they are going to be preseason wonders, and at the end of the season they wouldn't make the top four. But as it stands, with what
Are you trying
I'm
to
seeing
throw a
with
shade at
Ateta, he's
Arsenal?
doing a great job.
Are you trying to throw a shade at Arsenal?
I didn't get that you said.
Are you trying to throw a shade at
No, I'm
Arsenal?
not throwing shade, but no, it's not shade. Over the years, Arsenal has been preseason wonders. We all know that they are the king of winning every Emirates Cup that you see. At the end of the season, at the end of the entire
I bet
season, they
I
wouldn't make the
beg
top
to
four.
differ.
So
I
it's
beg to
normal.
differ. I
I
beg
know.
to
Well,
differ.
you bet to
Last
differ, but
season,
but
last season,
back
last season was
and check your track record.
shitty. Last season was shitty in season. I think
Last,
Arsenal lost all their
last two
preseason
seasons was
games.
what? When
Last
was the last time Arsenal played the Champions League? Those are things
Yeah,
to reflect
you
on. It
said
only
Arsenal
tells you
has
that
not
they can be
won
very
every
good
edition.
during the preseason, and after
Lost every.
preseason, they are nowhere to be found. I didn't get to your point.
I said, to be fair, Arsenal has not won
Yeah,
every edition of the Emirates Cup. Times where they've actually
okay.
lost the Emirates Cup.
Oh, praise God. Yeah, I can remember one they lost to Galatasaray because of the Drogba. Like, yeah, that's way back. But I'm
Yeah.
and so many things can happen during this course of the season. But if I'm going to judge by what I watched in the last 24 hours or less than 24 hours, I will tell you this Arsenal team is going to go very, very far. And in fact, I tip them for the top four. But with Chelsea, coming back to Chelsea, with what I saw yesterday, there was only less than three standard players in the entire 90 minutes. First, I'll give it to Koulibaly. I wouldn't rule out Sterling. Sterling would do all he has to do, but it is still the same set of attackers apart from him. These are attackers who struggled to find 76, 77 goals last season. I don't know if you are getting me. Now, if you're going to compare business done in Chelsea and business done and in the top two, look at Liverpool who scored, Man City that scored 99 goals last season. They went all out to get a Haaland. It only tells you something. They can do more than 99 goals. Look at Liverpool who did very close to that. They went all out to get a striker. I wouldn't say the Lukaku business had to come and go, but that was bad business. I will be very frank with you. But as it is, we need to beef up the attack. We cannot keep recycling this set of attackers that cannot do 77 goals. It's bad for a Chelsea standard. So if we tell ourselves the truth, they need to flush out more than 50% of the entire squad. When I mean entire, I mean the entire 36 man squad that they have. When I mean flush, they should flush at least half. The likes of Timo Werner, the likes of
But
Christian
you know that
Pulisic, the likes of
for me,
Hakim
that's
Ziyech,
going to be
who wants to
difficult,
leave.
really, because that's going to be
Of course,
difficult
we know,
because
but it's going to be difficult. But
yeah,
does he want to take this same crop of players to next season? No. See what Antonio Conte did. Antonio Conte went before he started his preseason. He had made his team already, and he dropped the guys he wanted to drop before preseason. Go, sorry, you're not part of, or look for a good team that you can play football. And that's how we start. It's as simple as that. It's as easy as that. A certain Chelsea relegated Maluda to under 23 under 23 team, and he trained with them till eventually he got a club. So if you are paying astronomical wage bills to all these players who can't make your top 15, I'm sorry, I'm they're going to still keep singing this same song I'm singing now. And with Chelsea as it is, they need to go all out. If they have to spend the money, they should spend the money and get in the crop of players that this guy wants and relegate some players to the bench. They shouldn't even be seen in a Chelsea jersey. That's the truth. It's a disrespect to my own football club. That's my take.
wow, that was coming deep from Chimamaka's soul. You know, Chimamaka is an emotional Chelsea fan. One emotional Chelsea fans. He wants the best for Chelsea. He wants Chelsea to always succeed. And I like that when they find such passion, what excuse does the owner or the players of the club have? But like I said, Chelsea currently, I feel it was with this same. I don't want us to dwell too much, but I just want to drop it here. It was with this same set of players that Tuchel won the Champions League with, except for a few. And now you've added Sterling is a good addition to the team. Winger scoring over 100 goals for Manchester City. And I feel like something missing behind the scene, because Chelsea guys, today they come out all impressing, and yesterday they were really shambolic. Maybe because it was a preseason game, so people didn't really want to put the energy into it. The players didn't really want to putting everything into it, because most of the players, they are scared not to get injured, so it doesn't affect the season coming. But I just feel Tuchel has all the players. Tuchel has everything he needs as a manager. Just my own opinion. But we moved to Liverpool. Liverpool, they did something crazy. Selling money. Money currently is out of the Liverpool squad. I mentioned something on Intercontinental Sport TV that I was on. I said I want to see a Salah. I want to see a Salah flourish. I want Salah to prove me wrong this coming season without money. So they brought in Darwin Núñez from Benfica, Fabio Carvalho from Fulham, and also Calvin Ramsey from Aberdeen. Liverpool, these are the kind of way they like to do their signings. But this Núñez guy, we saw him in the preseason losing glaring chances, sitters losing it. But he came against RB Leipzig on Friday, and he shut everybody's mouth up, scoring 4 goals in that game. So looking at Liverpool, we know Liverpool has been the one competing with Manchester City this past 4 seasons. Is Liverpool, do they still have that quality to compete against Manchester City? Looking at Henderson is getting old. Looking at their midfield, looking at the attack, do you think they have what it takes? Is Okpe still there? Maybe Okpe can start with this.
Yeah. So for me, on paper, I don't think Liverpool has what it takes to compete with Manchester City. I think Darwin Núñez is very, very raw. Raw talent. Someone who needs a lot of hooking up, But the truth is, that's what Jurgen Klopp is good at. Jurgen Klopp is good at taking players with raw talent and molding them into fantastic players. I'm not impressed by what I've seen from preseason so far. I've seen training clips, even from the games. Even the last game against RB Leipzig, that he scored 4 goals coming off from the bench. If you take a look at the quality of the goals, you'll be really, really disappointed. The Leipzig goalkeeper has a huge part to play in the goal that
4 goals.
Yeah,
4
goals. Look. You need to look
Don't
at
be a
the caliber.
hater, man.
No. It's
Don't be a
not
hater.
about hating. Let's be honest. Look, Liverpool has been on a certain pedestal since probably 2018-2019 season. They've put themselves on a certain pedestal, and it looks like they are now about to drop down from that pedestal by themselves. If you ask me, I don't think Darwin Núñez is it for me, but he's a very, very raw talent, and then he has what it takes to improve as a player. And I'll say it again, I was not impressed by those 4 goals. Even the penalty, it seemed quite lucky to me, if you ask me. His passing is not the best. Him runs, okay, he knows how to find space through the channels, but him knowing how to receive a pass is very bad. His hold-up game is not the best either, But I
Do
believe
you
all
think
those
you'll
things
be able
will
to
work
fill
on
that
one way
void?
or the other.
Do you think you'll be able to fill that void? That Mane void?
Of course not. Of course not. Him compared to Sadio Mane, right now, Mane is miles apart. Sadio Mane is a world-class player, and Darwin Núñez potentials. Darwin Núñez is a prospect, if you ask me. So Darwin Núñez has what it takes to be world-class, but he has a lot to do before he even gets into that echelon of what you term as a world-class player.
Mm-hmm.
But then looking at other areas of the pitch, I think Liverpool have aging players. Van Dijk is 30, Thiago is 30 plus, same thing with Jordan Henderson.
Wow.
Yeah, he's 30 already. So, but then a few positives around the pitch. First of all is Harvey Elliott. I believe Harvey Elliott has been progressing fantastically well. Hopefully he's without injury. I like Fabio Carvalho. I like him a lot. He's an exciting signing.
Van
He
Dijk is
reminds me a lot.
31.
Yeah.
Under age
You know,
31.
yeah. I like Fabio Carvalho, like I was saying, he reminds me a lot of a young Felipe Coutinho who joined Liverpool from Inter Milan. So I like that. I think needs to step up and do better has to be Curtis Jones. He's a player who obviously has a lot of ability, but he needs to do much better. And hopefully, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain will have an injury-free season, and then he can really show what he's all about. Because I mean, the World Cup is right around the corner, and he would want to do that. But obviously, you cannot deny the fact that Liverpool still possess Luis Diaz and Diogo Jota. These are
Thiago Jota, yeah.
fantastic forwards
And
who
also
know,
Firmino as well.
yeah, who know how to do it. Exactly. These players know how to get a goal. They know how to win games. And obviously, Bobby Firmino has a point to prove. Mane leaving now. Obviously, you expect him to have more game time. I believe he needs to push for more game time. And there's obviously a lot of competition. The young school, Gabriel Jesus, Alisson, Anthony Vina, even Gabriel Babusa, who plays his trade in Flamengo. All these guys are competition. For Firmino, and if Firmino is even saying he wants to play attacking midfielder for the Seleção, he still has to compete with the likes of Matheus Cunha and Felipe Coutinho. So Firmino has a lot to improve on. So yeah, so for me, I don't think Liverpool can be on paper against Manchester City. It's a no for me, but teams can always grow into the season. Players can always improve. So Liverpool need that, and they need that desperately. If you ask me.
Let me switch to Chimamaka. I'm going to switch to the elephant in the EPL room, which is Manchester City. We saw how they won the EPL last season, and they've gone ahead to strengthen in signing Erling Haaland from Borussia Dortmund for £1 million. Also, Calvin Phillips from Leeds for the £2 million. Julian Alvarez, a deal that happened in January but came to fruition this summer from River Plate, £14 million. Stefan Ortega Moreno from Amina Belfield on a free. And we know a lot of outs that it seems Manchester City is just spreading the teams across the EPL. Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko going to Arsenal, and also Sterling going to your beloved Chelsea. So, what do you see Manchester City becoming this coming season, despite winning the league last season and going ahead to sign Erling Haaland? Oh, the entire team in EPL are in trouble.
I see them as champions again. There's no two ways to describe it. These are guys who know what they want and they go all out for it as soon as that time permits them. Now talking about Manchester City, you see them knowing that they have started beefing up their squad as way back at January transfer window. It only tells you something. It tells you these guys, the squad depth alone is something you don't want to explain to yourself because it's beyond explanation. Now, looking at the players they brought in just to make a statement. If you look at also last season, they didn't play with an outright number nine, an outright all-going striker. Yeah, they had the Gabriel Jesus, no doubt, and he was excellent last season. But there's a different style of football which Gabriel Jesus gives and the Erling Haaland frame kind of give. Now they've what they've lacked because I believe last season they wanted to go all out for Hurricane, which they didn't get. Now they've gone all out for Haaland and they have gotten him. It is a plus to Manchester City. Let's not forget that these guys scored 99 goals without a striker, an outright
That is
number
straight.
nine.
Outright. Yeah, true.
Now, now they've brought in a number nine. It tells you that these guys actually they and Manchester and Liverpool are the only clubs that know what it is to play in the Premier League as it stands. Now Arsenal has joined that frame too as well because these are guys who know what they are looking for. So if you look at me now and ask me as a Chelsea fan and see these guys and compare my team with these guys, if we make top 10, I think I would pop champagne on this our podcast. If we make the top 10 with what we have today, I will pop. I don't care how much. But if they have to do some other things to make this squad a competitive squad, then I'll agree with that. Going back to Manchester City, personally, I'm giving them the league already. Why am I giving them the league? With the kind of buys they have made. They lost a Fernandinho, who looked all out to go and look for for. We know how solid that guy is. In the
Yeah.
Premier League in the past 2-3 seasons, we've been hearing of Declan Rice, or Ruben Diaz from. Ruben Diaz from Wolves? I think I'm right. These are guys who play the holding role, and we celebrate these guys more, forgetting that we have a certain Calvin Phillips who puts the bill, who does the dirty job that no other Premier League club is looking at. But a Guardiola who knows and understands football went all out and did not argue or negotiate with anybody. They went to Leeds United and got the player once and for all. It tells you they have sealed that loophole that Fernandinho has created. Now, going to Raheem Sterling, before even Sterling joined Chelsea, they had signed his replacement in Alvarez. Alvarez plies
Yeah.
his
True.
both on the left, on the right, and in the middle of the park. So they had already replaced a Raheem Sterling already. It tells you that these guys know what they are doing. Let's take it back to Liverpool. Liverpool lost Sadio Mane. Let's not forget that even before Sadio, who could fit into his position, and because Sadio Mane left, they already had conveniently play in Sadio Mane's position, which are Louis that he got from Porto, and Diogo Jota. These guys can happily, conveniently play in
No.
Sadio Mane's position. The difference between Mane and them was that Mane was a better option than those guys. But as it is, Mane has left, has given room for for better competition. Now the competition is no longer as fair. There were three guys who were gunning for that position. But as it stands now, there are two players who are doing it. Yeah, let's not forget that Diogo Jota can actually work as a striker. But now they've gotten a striker. It tells you that Diogo Jota would have to play behind him, except they're going to play two strikers up front. I'm mentioning these names because these positions have been filled already. Despite the fact that Mane has left, the position has been covered up for all. These
Already.
guys
Yeah.
know what they are going for. They have an
Yeah.
idea of the plan, the club, of what the coach wants, what they want to deliver this season. Yes, we know that Liverpool lost the league by just a few
Points. Yeah.
points, and they believe, as Liverpool they believe that with these signings they have, they can cause an upset eventually in the course of the season with this kind of signings they have. Look at Guardiola. Guardiola doesn't want to have a 7 point lead. He wants to do 15 points, 17 points lead. That is why he went all out to get the caliber of players that understands his own philosophy and is going to work for them. Let me use Arsenal again. Arsenal, Arteta, even before
Oh,
the end of the
Mama
season,
is in
Arteta
Arsenal on
already
today's
had.
episode. Damn.
No,
We
I
need to
would do
put
because
this in the
when
history of
when you see
footy.
good business being done, if you see good business being done, you celebrate it. Arteta did his business. In fact, the club with highest amount made on transfers this season as it stands. I don't know if I'm wrong, please correct me. But I think with the buys they've made, I think they're the highest presently in the
Yeah,
EPL
presently.
that
Yeah,
has spent more money.
115.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
it only tells you that these guys know what they want and they've gone all out for it. Now, at the middle of this, it is going to be on Ata's head. And I'll be the first. I will be the first. You guys know me well. I'll be the first to lambast East, lambast Okpe, to do that. But at least for now, I'm happy with the business part of Arsenal Football Club. Then
Okay, okay.
one, two, three
Yeah.
things I've mentioned. The Tottenham as well.
No, we're going to get to Tottenham.
Tottenham have done good
Yes.
business.
We're going to get to Tottenham.
Okay,
So
so
we're following it alphabetically. So I'll switch to Okwe for Manchester United. So the ins for Manchester United are Lisandro Martinez, a player that caused a supposed bidding war between Arsenal and Manchester United, but later decided to go to meet his former gaffer in Harry Ten Hag for £63.5 million. Tyrone Malacia from Feyenoord, £30 million, and Christian Eriksen, Brentford on a free. Those are the only players that have come into Manchester United. Manchester United, I know they took in. They're currently in that mode of, remodeling, reworking things behind the scene. to translate into what is happening on the football pitch. And they have a baggage, a big elephant in the room. Cristiano Ronaldo, that's another factor. Is he staying or is he leaving? So, in few minutes, what do you think about Manchester United?
Okay, so first of all, if I take a look at the players that United have signed so far, I think they've signed comfortable players. They've signed players that Ten Hag has been able to pull on his own. Talking about
They've only
Sandro
signed
Martinez, who he
3.
worked with. Yeah, just 3. But just like I said, there are players who have been with the influence of Ten Hag. If you ask me, he worked with Sandro Martinez for the past 3 seasons. Malaysia, obviously, he knows very well from the Dutch league, and then Christian Eriksen as well. But United need more signings. If you ask me, I wonder why United didn't even go for Bissouma, because I believe United need a much better midfield. Scott McTominay is a bang average Scottish lad. He's not Manchester United standard, if you ask me. Can be off and on, but United need to do better in terms of the midfield, and they really need a defensive midfield. Really, why they were so eager to Frankie De Jong? Because if you ask me, Frankie De Jong is not a perfect central defensive midfielder. I don't think that's the type of defensive midfielder that United need. But obviously, Erik Ten Hag knows better because he has worked with him before. So United should be looking elsewhere. But Sandro Martinez can effect actually play as a defensive midfielder, as a centre back, and as a left back. So you might never know. You don't know what Ten Hag has in mind. What if Sandro Martinez was bought to play in that central defensive midfield position? And if that is the case, I'll be very eager to see how Martinez
Hey, is anybody home? Wow. Okwe, are you there? The gremlins have taken over. Let me see if I can get them back so we can end the stream. Yeah, Chimamaka, are you back? Hello, Chimamaka. I think the gremlins took over and you guys left. So where were we?
I think Okpa was talking about Spurs
Yeah,
and the
I don't know. So
transfer.
the network just went crazy. But let's get back to what we're discussing. I think I'm the only one on the stream with you yourself. So let's just look at Spurs. Spurs currently, quick one just to wrap up because there is no much time. I know you're interested in this Spurs team. So the ins for Spurs: Richarlison from Everton, £60 million; Bissouma from Brighton, £25 million; Ivan Perisic on the free; Fraser Foster on the free; Clement Lenglet from Barcelona, Langley on the loan; and Jed Spence from Middlesbrough, £20 million. So do you think the signings from Antonio Conte would help Spurs contend for the title or just maintain the top four position?
Well, I don't know the philosophy that Conte is actually trying to bring in, because if you look at the strengths of these players he has brought in, knowing Conte, who has coached Chelsea, you realize, and he won the EPL with Chelsea, you realize that some of these guys will actually foot the bills on the kind of football he wants to bring, or he wants the EPL to actually see. Now, I wouldn't tell you that this team would win the EPL, but I can
Yeah.
see them
Yep.
contesting for the top four conveniently. Now, looking at the players he has brought in, he just needed somebody to work alongside. And sorry, he needed someone to be another option with Hurricane and Song Heung-min, and he brought in Richarlison, which is Premier League proven. He might not give you the 25, 30 goals, but he's very integral in
Mm-hmm.
the Everton he played in, and he was very integral in Everton he played in last season. And looking at Ivan Perisic is going to bring strength to the whip and experience as well. He brought in Lingley, who is a defender, but who was, in my opinion, wasn't all that good in
Yeah.
his Barcelona days. But if he feels he fits the bill, why not? He brought in Jay Spence, who I didn't think would actually make the grade in the sports
Mm.
team I'm looking at. But he brought him in. He knows the strength of the player, and he actually knows what he wants. But the only buy okay, sorry, one of the two buys I am very comfortable with is
Mm.
Ves Bissouma. Ves Bissouma was it's actually not was, it's a perfect buy for Antonio
Well,
Conte. But the strength that
sorry
guy
to cut
will.
you. Sorry to cut you. I know I hate Spurs. There's no denying that. I don't like that team for whatever reason. Maybe because they are rivals, yes, but I didn't like them for whatever thing. But looking at I have a personal beef with these transfers because I hear a lot of people talking about how Tottenham have been so great, how what Conte has done in this transfer window, how he is strengthening. Looking at these players, they are just squad players. They are not players that will break into the first 11 or sit anybody down. For instance, Richarlison, who is going to sit among Son, Kane, and Kulusevski? Bissouma, who is going to sit between Bentancur, Højbjerg? Who is going to sit? Fraser Foster is going to bench their number one, Hugo Lloris. Perisic, maybe because I heard in the news that Conte doesn't want to doesn't want anything to do with Regulon anymore. So possibly we might demote him to the under 23 team. I don't know, but there's a Sessignon on there. So Lenglet, maybe a backup for Dia, Romero, or Davis. Jet Spence, possibly maybe Doherty, or was I heard Tanganga has moved on. So these
Yeah,
guys are
Tanganga.
just the signings that he has made are not players that will break into the first 11. My own opinion, and it could be argued, but I, with the level of having Champions League football and making the top four and having Champions League football, and Conte, based on his pedigree, his past, his history as a serial winner, as so claimed, I feel these transfers are underwhelming. My personal opinion.
Well, you know the kind of players that. First of all, I would leave this to the strength at which a football club can pull, the pulling power of a football club. Now, I feel
Yeah,
that
true,
is the
true. That's another
that is
angle.
actually
True.
one of the is the undoing of Spurs. Chelsea are feeling that heat now because of the full power of certain elite clubs. So that might be the undoing of Spurs. So I'll give that to them as an excuse. But it is football and it's for you, except the player chooses not to want to play for you. That's a different ball game. Now, but looking at these players that Conte has brought in, he understands. I believe for him to have gone all out for these players, he would understand their strength and understand what they will do for the kind of team he's assembling. Now, I
Mm,
don't see Bissouma comfortably benching a Hoiberg. No, I don't see him doing that. But he can bench a Benteke. Let's not forget that if Bissouma is EPL proven, he doesn't he doesn't
mm,
he doesn't need to play more than what we've seen in the past to make us know that he's one of the strongholds in his position. I
mm-hmm.
don't know if you understand that. But
Yeah, I get
Bissouma
you. I get you.
is EPL proven, and I believe he can fit into any team. His Spurs have been the one to nick him up. Well, good for them. Now the only thing is for them to be able to use these players they brought in. I don't see Richarlison replacing him Harry Kane. But in the past few seasons, Harry Kane's undoing has been his injuries. So if you're bringing in Richarlison to come and complement or supplement the injuries, good. I don't see Richarlison as a starter, in my opinion, except Conte is choosing to want to play with a with two strikers. That's where I can see
Mm,
Richarlison function. But if you're going to be using a lone striker in Harry Kane, I don't see a Richarlison replacing an Harry Kane, except injury sets in. Now, for the other players he brought in, the Foster he brought in, I think Hugo Lloris actually needs competition. In my opinion, he has not gotten a formidable competition in that goal mouth. If he has gotten a formidable competition, he should be bent by now. No disrespect to him, no disrespect to the France international, but I believe with better competition at the goal mouth, he will be replaced. That's what I see that. Then bringing in Perisic, I feel he just brought in Perisic for the experience. That is,
well, just to add experience to the
yeah, that,
backroom
that experience
staff.
will add to it. I don't know the beef he has
Yeah.
with Reguilon. I don't know the beef he has with him. But I believe Perisic
Mm,
coming in would only just add experience on both sides of the flank. He's very good on the left, also very, very formidable on the right too as well. Then bringing in Jay Spence. Well, I feel Jay Spence would come in. If you look at the past few seasons, Spurs have had more right backs than left back, and they're
mm.
in their right back positions. They've all flopped. In the likes of Sergio Aurier, he brought in a certain Brazilian. I can't remember his name, who played last season. Now he has brought
Yeah,
in AJ Spence again. AJ Spence on that in that same position. What's the probability that J Spence will get a starting shift? So I would agree with you one way or the other that some of these players are just squad players. He added some of them just for squad depth. Not that they are going to come and replace a Manchester City with the offline Erling Haaland or Darwin Nunes and the like.
yeah.
Just squad depth. I feel the buys are just for squad depth.
Wow, we've gone 20 minutes. I wanted this stream to be for 30 minutes, but football, it is what it is. We'll all keep talking. Different points will come out. But it's nice doing this with you guys. Top 6 review before the start of the EPL 2022-2023 season. We're back. We're back fully now. We're back with our regular episodes. Starting in 2 weeks, the normal EPL review will be starting as well. And also our FPL scoop, because we have an FPL Fantasy Premier League sponsored by AM Jersey. This season is going to be great. This season is going to be different from that of last season, but it's still cooking. So let me don't let the cat out of the bag yet. And also, we will also be doing our fan corner on Manchester United, Chelsea, and also hoping to add Liverpool into the mix. Liverpool fan corner on FootyWit, watch out for that. And also, we'll be having the fan debate as well. So we're back to a regular programming, hoping everything work together for good. So, like you all know, we're on social media platform. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. Our handle is at FootyWit. You can also listen to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Anchor. From me here, it's been a pleasure doing this. We'll be back next week. Salute. Chimamaka, thank you for being on the show.
Good to be here too.